I'm not exactly sure how this one got in here. It says who's in control of the zombies. Not my controller's broken. Who edited this video? It was me? Huh. What's up guys, I am BlackOpsAmazing. Welcome back to another Zombies Q&A where I take your questions from the comments section below and answer them. If there's any questions you have, be sure to leave them in the comments and I will try my best to answer them in the next video. If you enjoyed this one, a like rating if you feel like it would be very much appreciated, but if not, it doesn't matter, it's okay. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Also click that little bell notification icon as well. But anyway, without further ado, when you're ready, let's do this. So the first question of today comes from Frederick and he says, why can you hear Richtofen in Nuketown? Well, Nuketown Zombies and Moon takes place simultaneously. They take place at the same time. Whilst the events are happening on Moon, with Richtofen attempting to take control of the zombies and switch bodies with Samantha, whilst those events are taking place on Moon, meanwhile down on Earth in Nuketown, this explosion has happened just outside of the facility, which has caused both the CIA and CDC agents to come here and investigate. So whilst we play as them on Nuketown, we are also playing as them on Moon. We can see at the beginning of Nuketown, the zombies' eyes are yellow. Also, Samantha is the announcer. Whenever we get a perk in Nuketown Zombies, Samantha is the one who announces that. But then finally, when we get to, I think it's round 25, that is when Richtofen takes control. On round 25 in Nuketown Zombies, the zombies' eyes then turn blue, because on Moon, which is happening at the same time, Richtofen has taken control, and so from then on, we will hear Richtofen become the announcer of the perks on Nuketown Zombies. And we can actually also hear Richtofen talking through the TV in Nuketown Zombies. We can hear his voice while he's speaking on Moon. So to answer your question, why can you hear Richtofen in Nuketown? That's because the TV that he speaks through is somehow intercepting with the computer systems on Moon. We can hear what he's saying on Moon down in Nuketown. And the reason why the quotes are the same and what he says is the same is because both maps take place at the same time. And we also know this because when we end Nuketown when you die, the ending outro is one of the rockets from Moon hitting Nuketown. And we know those rockets are launched just after Richtofen takes control. So we see not long after, when we die in Nuketown, the rockets eventually get to Earth and hit. Anyway, there we go. The next question says, what if Stuhlinger didn't eat the flesh? What would happen? Well, if Samuel Stuhlinger was never part of the flesh, if he never ate zombies, then simply Richtofen wouldn't be able to contact him. We know that the only reason Richtofen could talk to Stuhlinger in his head was because Samuel ate zombie flesh. And because that zombie flesh has a link to the ether, because it contains element 115, that meant that Richtofen could get inside of his head and talk to him. If Samuel Stuhlinger never ate the flesh, Richtofen wouldn't be able to talk to him, meaning the Richtofen side of the Easter eggs wouldn't have been possible in Black Ops 2, at least not by the transit crew. Maybe it's possible that he could have contacted someone else, but as far as we know, everyone else who was part of the flesh died. Stuhlinger was the only remaining survivor. But even if this was the case, if Richtofen was never able to contact Stuhlinger, I don't think that really would have affected the story anyway, since we know that the Maxis side of the Easter egg is canon. We link all of the pylons up in Black Ops 2 for Maxis, not Richtofen. So anything that he tells us, we don't listen to him anyway. So if Stuhlinger never ate the flesh, I don't think it really would have changed the Easter egg. I don't think it would have mattered that much because, as we know, it is the Maxis side which is canon to the story. Something that I thought was funny, I noticed quite a few people picked up on this as well, but the grenades on Moon don't exactly work how they probably should. You will notice when you throw a grenade on Moon, the gravity with how it should be on Moon simply isn't there, the way it should fall. I'm guessing this is something that Treyarch just didn't bother with or maybe forgot about. But the way you throw a grenade on Moon falls exactly how it would do normally on Earth with the gravity that we have. Anyway, Troy says, how did Arthur, the big guy from Buried, get the name Leroy? So back when Buried came out during Black Ops 2, we never had a name for him. We simply weren't given a name, and so the community made one up for him, which was Leroy. I believe Syndicate was actually the first one to call him this, and then it just picked up in the community, and then from then we've just called him Leroy. We now officially know, thanks to the Chronorium, that his name is actually Arthur, so for a lot of people who were confused, it's actually the same person. His official name's Arthur. We all originally called him Leroy because he just didn't have a name. I believe we actually got that from Leroy Jenkins. But yeah, it's the same person, and even now I still refer to him as Leroy because that's what we know him as. Isaac says, BlackOpsAmazing, since Richtofen is in control of the zombies, how come he makes them attack the transit crew? So we know during Black Ops 2 Zombies that Richtofen is in control. He can tell the zombies what to do. And we also know in Black Ops 2, Richtofen wants the transit crew to complete tasks for them, yet he's also making the zombies attack them at the same time. Wouldn't it have made sense for Richtofen simply have not ordered the zombies to attack the transit crew whilst they're trying to do things for him? And the answer is simply no. We can see from the comics that the reason Richtofen tells undead Richtofen and also the rest of the zombies to attack and follow and chase the transit crew, he is making the zombies do that so that it makes the characters push on. If the characters ever slow down, if they ever stop and think they are safe, Richtofen simply pushes the zombies in their location, tells them to attack them, so it keeps the transit crew moving. If the zombies were never after the transit crew in Black Ops 2, then simply they wouldn't have felt the need to do anything that Richtofen told them to do. Richtofen told them that if they want to survive, they have to listen to them. And simply if no zombies were attacking them, they thought they were safe, then the transit crew would have no reason to follow Richtofen's orders. So the reason Richtofen still tells the zombies to attack the transit crew all throughout Black Ops 2, even though he wants them to do things for him, is because it keeps them moving. It's so they are convinced that whatever they do, without the help of Richtofen, they are eventually going to be killed by the zombies. Also, the other reason is, if the zombies do end up killing the characters, Richtofen knows that he can resurrect them. We see in Die Rise that the characters die, they are killed by the zombies, but Richtofen simply sends them back in time to the beginning to do the Easter egg over and over again. If the zombies ever end up killing the transit crew whilst trying to do something for him, then Richtofen can simply just resurrect him, it's no problem. But if the zombies never chase them in the first place, then the transit crew have no incentive to do what Richtofen asks, and so that's why Richtofen tells the zombies to attack them. The next question is, why are there meteors falling from the sky in Die Rise? And also, what are the floating rocks in the sky? And this is very interesting. This is something I've never seen anyone talk about. In the trailer for Die Rise, as you can see, we have meteorites falling from the sky. And then also when you start in the starting area, if you look up, there are rocks just randomly floating. And before this was something we'd never actually seen in Zombies before. What exactly is going on here? Well, as we know, Die Rise takes place in a couple of crumbling, fallen over, upside down skyscrapers high up in the sky. We can see below us, we can't see the ground since the clouds or mist is covering the bottom half of the skyscraper. So it kind of gives us the mirage, the illusion that the whole skyscraper, these buildings are floating. And the flying or floating city of China is a very popular theory. It was a popular mirage. I believe it was back in 2011. This ghostly apparition over this entire city appeared over the Chinese river, and it led a lot of people to believe that this was a floating city. And by the way, this was the Hussein city. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but this was a city in the east of China where tall buildings, mountains and trees appeared to rise up through the ghostly mist that had descended over the river at dusk. And you can see from these images, a lot of people thought that this was a lost civilization. And these pictures actually baffled experts who visited the city to check that there were not actually any buildings already there. It was believed that this site may have actually been a mirage. And there's many different stories behind floating cities in China due to the mist. And that's just one of the theories. As we see from Die Rise, the sky, even though the stars are out, isn't exactly dark. It kind of looks like it's daytime or kind of somewhere in the middle. It doesn't look like it's specifically at night, but then it doesn't look like it's specifically at day either. We have the stars out, the moon are out, and it doesn't really feel like nighttime. And with the mist covering the bottom of the skyscrapers, it makes us feel like we are above the clouds. And then also with the asteroids just floating in front of the moon, that gives us the perspective that possibly we are in space. The only place where we'd see rocks like these floating. It makes us feel like we are in possibly another planet. But even with that as just a theory, it doesn't really explain why these rocks are floating in Die Rise. We can see that they don't look like rocks of element 115, as they'd usually have a blue or a green, orange coloured tint to it. They're just normal meteorites, and we can see the ones that fell from the sky have clearly hit the skyscrapers around here. These ones stay floating. Is this due, or was this a sign in Die Rise of the fracturing of the Earth? We know that the Earth fractured, that it was hit by the rockets not long before we played Die Rise. So this could be a result of that. Maybe the Earth's fracturing because it opened a rift on Earth. Because that rift has opened, this causes things in our universe to mess up. And one result of that was the floating rocks. I don't know, it's a strange one. We can theorize it, but nothing in the Chronorium mentions really anything that happens in Die Rise. So let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Anyway, there we go. That is it for today's video. Hopefully you have all enjoyed. If you have a like rating, if you haven't left one already, would be very much appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest summons videos on the channel. Almost messed it up. And click the little bell notification icon as well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.